Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Talos Principle 2. We're done here in the Oasis. Let's get out of here. Let's get to the VTOL, go back to the machine. That's not what it's called. The megastructure. And then, I don't know, hopefully save Byron, because, yeah, can't lose him. Absolutely cannot lose him, so let's go.
You all know I don't share Byron's enthusiasm for the megastructure. I don't know if the founder really intended for us to be here, and I certainly don't trust this Prometheus entity. But Byron is one of us, and we don't leave people behind. So we're finding Prometheus and freeing him, whether Pandora likes it or not. Here's how this mission is going to go. 1K, it's clear to me that you have some kind of special affinity for this place, and that the entities respond to you more strongly than they do to us. So, once you're inside, I want you to take point. Do whatever you need to free Prometheus, but remember that our prime objective is to save our friend.
Sure.
Melville, I want you to stay at the VTOL and let Yakut and 1K go in. I'm going to stay behind as protocol requires. I don't love the idea of sitting this one out. Byron is my oldest friend, but we're doing this by the book.
Sounds good to me. No complaints. Don't know why I turned the wrong way. I know exactly where I need to go. Nah, yeah, we'll hurry. We'll do everything else later. Let's save Byron. If he can at all.
All right, I'm taking us in.
Yeah,
Let's
go.
hope we can find the big guy.
Let's see. Where do we land this time? We're going in? Can I talk? Can't talk. Can we talk? Can't talk. So we're going in. Your crouch run looks really goofy. I like it. It's just very slow because I'm not even running and I'm not running you. Why are you so slow? Anyway. Okay, that looks familiar. It looks the same. Vibe-wise. It's not, like, distinctly different immediately, so that's good, I guess. We have an elevator here. We're not taking that yet. He's going straight for it, of course. Are you going in right away too? He's just sprinting there. Sprinting very slowly, but sprinting nonetheless. Let's see what we get here. From Eustathius to Athena. Dearest Athena, I don't know if you will see this. You have become even more distant from the affairs of New Jerusalem than I have. Miss speaking to you and Cornelius, and I fear that some of your estrangement is my own fault. I know things are not as you had wished them to be, and the city is drifting away from that bold vision you established. This is not because of your leadership or lack thereof. You did not fail. I did. I know I've said it before, but the New Alexandria disaster was my fault. I'm the one who took the initiative, and I'm the one who made the mistake. Yes, there should have been procedures in place, but it was my role to create such procedures, Athena, not yours. I wish I had listened to Byron when he said we had to establish another settlement immediately. Learn from the pain, don't let it fester. He was right. That's where the rot set in. And I'm sorry. With love, Eustathius. I mean, there's something to, you know, getting right back on the horse, as they say. I don't think it's like universally like the best advice. But, you know, letting things fester, letting that set in, letting that like become a part of your identity is also definitely not a good way to proceed from failure. Try to Genia? I don't know. From the author's notes to Athena Reborn, a novel. If my work has meant something to you, if Athena had any kind of impact on you, if some story in one of the tales from the periphery moved you or made you think, then there's something about myself that I need to share with you. It's the only autobiographical fact I have any interest in sharing, the only thing about me that matters to you outside my work. Every breath that I take, every move that I make, no, and so every story that I write is only possible because of technology. There are no natural remedies, no spiritual alternatives for what I was born with. My existence is wholly contingent upon a level of technological sophistication which was heretofore unimaginable, and which will in many ways define the coming era. When you long for a return to simpler times, you wish for a world in which I could not exist. If you are looking for answers, consider the fact that I was granted the blessing of this technology despite being born into poverty and my writing never having been particularly lucrative. The civilizational structures I live within were arranged in such a way that this technology would be deployed to save my life. And are these structures not also, at the end of the day, a kind of machine? What is the state? What is civilization, if not a machine? Think about what this means. What this is. Is it systemic compassion? Is it liberation from nature? Is it equality of opportunity? Whatever your belief system, think hard about what it means that I am alive because of these machines, and I have created something that matters to you. Thank you for reading. Wait, what are we really referencing here? Wonder Tales from the Periphery. Have you seen that before? I feel like I don't know, it doesn't sound familiar. Anyway. Clockwork. Excerpted from Orthodoxy by G.K. Chesterton. All the towering materialism which dominates the modern mind rests ultimately upon one assumption, a false assumption. It is supposed that if a thing goes on repeating itself, it is probably dead. A piece of clockwork. People feel that if the universe was personal, it would vary. If the sun were alive, it would dance. This is a fallacy, even in relation to known fact, for the variation in human affairs is generally brought into them not by life, but by death, by the dying down or breaking off of their strength or desire. A man varies his movements because of some slight element of failure or fatigue. But perhaps God is strong enough to exert in monotony. It is possible that God says every morning, do it again to the sun, and every evening, do it again to the moon. It may not be automatic necessity that makes all daisies alike. It may be that God makes every daisy separately, but has never got tired of making them. It may be that he has the eternal appetite of infancy, for we have sinned and grown old, and our Father is younger than we. Miranda, it's strange. The idea is delightful, but it's also completely and obviously untrue. Cornelius. That's one of many reasons Chesterton is worth reading. He's wrong about a lot of things, but he's wrong about them in an interesting way. Miranda, it's such a shame though. He seems to want to restore the magic of the world, but he can only re-enchant the surface. Whereas the true magic, the perfect beauty that feels like revelation, is found underneath in what he dismisses as clockwork. Founding 10 from Hypatia's journal. Day 680. New Jerusalem, that's the name that we picked. Am I sad that my suggestion didn't win? Maybe a little. But it is a good name, a fitting name, a name that we can be proud of. With it comes a new kind of optimism. Everyone is thinking of the future once more. I, for one, am glad that we have recovered our equilibrium and our determination. Athena and Cornelius are certainly bustling with plans and bright visions of the future. And when they tell us of these dreams of theirs, it's hard not to be drawn in by the pretty pictures they paint. Speaking of which, I'm becoming more and more fascinated with ancient human art and thinking about our own role in taking the next step in that long history. Citizens of Gehenna found meaning in art, and they were imprisoned. A free people should be able to accomplish so much more. Whatever, let's go one by one. They're just so far apart. They're annoying to scan. He's everywhere, without the E at the end. I'm guessing the E is the start of this one. He's everywhere and nowhere. But I wonder how all of that happened, right? Because Athena had the bustling visions of the future and the dreams that they shared with the people of New Jerusalem and stuff. And then now the whole Athena myth in New Jerusalem is that, we should live within our means and only 1,000 people and, how did they manage to change the history there so much? Because there's public record apparently in these journals of the founding of New Jerusalem. Anyway, these are very weird. I like them. Floating cubes. I think that's kind of glitchy blue light. Kind of looked like there was a secret or something, but I think it's just kind of glitching in through the corners. Alright. Don't like this. Don't like elevators.
Yay! I found another elevator.
Same.
My favorite.
Same. At least these aren't the elevators in Infra. Those were bad. Where are you, Yakut?
Once again, I have no idea where I am.
Same.
No sign of Prometheus so far.
Also
Hope
same.
you're doing better, 1K.
Nope. I have also no idea where you are. And similarly, no idea where I am. And nothing here looks like it could be the chains that hold, the chains that bind Prometheus, but maybe.
I know I've said this before, but look at the size of this.
Yeah.
How can all of this be one machine?
It's a big machine.
This is what you get when one machine builds a bigger machine, which builds an even bigger machine.
That's true.
But where does it end?
Well, presumably, with the megastructure. Unless the megastructure is part of an even bigger machine, and then we're inside, the whole planet is everything is a machine at this point. Which I guess I can't definitively rule out. I might be a simulation inside of a machine, inside of a bigger machine, inside of a bigger machine. I don't know. Why so many elevators? Just to convey the size of this, or we're going deep into the bowels of the megastructure. It must be below the surface. That might be Prometheus bound by chains. I'm not sure. It's a little subtle. But it might
Be
in fact
careful,
be him.
1K. We don't know what's down there.
Well, it's Prometheus bound in chains. It's, you know, it's not even pretending to be anything else. Man, that looks crazy. That looks insane. Like this, the scope of this is like. I need a different pose. What is a good pose? Maybe like slightly offset because of the logo. Anyway. Perfect. Random recurring levels cannot be a bad idea, right? Remove Prometheus chain pins. Okay. How? Why is this glowing? It looks really neat. I don't think they'll let me walk on the chains, will they? Reminds me of like World of Warcraft. Blackrock stuff, right? What was it called? Or there was Morton Core? Was Morton Core the... I don't remember, it's so long ago. Also they like, after a while, they started translating the place names. So I played the game in German, but like all of the place names originally were in English, and then they like patched them at some point, and then they were German, and I'm like confused about all the place names. Also, it's been like many years since I played. Which, yeah, doesn't help. There are like a bunch of instances in Blackrock though, right? I think so. That doesn't seem right. How do you get your drone in here? Why is it going so fast? You're gonna crash it, be careful. Anyway. Well, there you are. Hey. Hey, hello. Say something. You're raving, that's good enough for me.
I don't think you can get up here, 1K. Guess I'll have to do a puzzle after all.
No, I want to do the
It
puzzle.
can't be that hard, right? It's not like everyone is depending on me.
I could totally get up there. If there wasn't an invisible wall here, I could totally jump here and then there. Oh, you're so mean. At least make it plausibly inaccessible. Like this is like so doable. Anyway. But yeah.
But if this has to connect over here, then wait. If I do this and then that.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
I did it! Wow! I feel really smart. Also, never doing that again.
But why would you never want to do it again if it made you feel so good, you know? Why are you not chasing that high? It was actually looked pretty decent, the physics in that chain. I think, I don't know. Like, it didn't look obviously wrong anyway, which is good. Like, maybe a little off. But also I've never seen like a big chain like that, just like fall from like a great height. So I don't know. And yeah, BlackRock had a bunch of like big chains that you could walk on. Was one called Depths, maybe? This seems right to me. No. Okay, so we can't really start here. Can we? Because this doesn't connect here. I don't like thinking about these still. Them being 3D just makes them really hard. Yeah, sometimes it just work out though. You got to do a puzzle and I'm just pouring out the pen? That's mean. Okay, that one looks a little weird. That was hanging too much. Just hanging down. It should be more straight probably from the weight, even with the momentum going. I don't know. Oh, that looks better again. It still looks better than the bird physics, but like the bird taking flight physics thing. That looks more wrong to me than the chains do. So there you go. Alright, do I have to go all the way back? Or is there like another one that I can get to from here somewhere? I don't think so. What's Yakut doing now? He could be helping out. Like the ones where you just pour the pin out, he could do those. I don't mind. I was again, yeah, kind of confusing as to where I'm going. I mean, I can see the yellow, like, you know, things that I'm trying to get to, but like, how things connect here is not like, it's very hard to have a good grasp of this area because it's so big. And you can't really see all of it, and then, you know, sometimes you're upside down and all that stuff. Anyway. I will just do this and then that and then see where we're at. Then I could actually see that it would work, which is nice, and just have to blindly try it. We're floating cubes, I like it. Oh, that's weird. Cause even if I put this, like I can't walk. No, I can walk these, right? Because they are, yeah, they are gravity ones. That's weird. I don't like that lore because that makes everything really weird. But this one isn't. So I need to like flatten this out again. Wait, this is so disorienting. Give me a different one. No, but they all go up because this one goes up. Right. Let's just take this back. Let's just go deeper first. But like, wait. Like I can't jump up to the side, which is really weird. Yeah, I can't really think these through because like it's weirdly restrictive there. Like I can't just. Yeah, that's not gonna get there. And this is really weird too. Cause like, yeah, no, this is not one of those. It's gotta be this that goes up. But then it connects up. What? That makes no sense to me. Like I can't visually. It's too big. It's too close to me. I can't like look at the thing. I have no idea what I'm doing here. But it's so weird because I have to be near that, otherwise I can't. Like it doesn't let me jump up on the next thing, so I can't go around the corner at all, which makes it so weird to think about. Because this would just go up more. And I can't walk on top of this. But I also can't get on the top. Like, how would I ever move that? I don't understand how that's supposed to work. Does it have to be just the last thing there? I guess so. That's the only thing that makes any sense. Right, like this. Okay, that makes some sense at least. But it's still very disorienting and confusing and I don't like it. It just didn't... Yeah, I couldn't actually flip it first because I needed... Right, because I couldn't get on top of the next... I couldn't go like 90 degrees. You know, whatever, it's hard to explain. Where am I going? I guess I'm going here. And then, I don't know, higher up still. Why couldn't you do this one? Those sparks look really weird though. Anyway, we're good. How deep is that? Not very, right? Creepy sounds. It still always feels like I'm inside a Borg cube in here. It's crazy. It's like a blend of Borg cube and Blackrock. Weird that that's here, but okay. Anyway, okay, how do I get back? Where's the way up here? How did I get up here? Oh, there's the staircase, I see. Sure. Right, next one. I don't have no idea how to get down there, but we'll figure it out. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Okay, where are we going? Let's just start with this bridge. Neat. That one was easy. I appreciate it. I do. This one looks weird. But maybe it's okay. What? None of that makes any sense. Okay, like this. Sure. Stupid shape, but okay. I feel like there should be more stuff going on here. I don't even mind running around in the big area, but like, give me some, I don't know, something. Yakut could be talking, or Alcatraz could be checking in or something. This just feels like a very long stretch of like very little plot development, and just putting these pins. You could also just make, you know, fewer pins, or smaller area, or quicker like traversal, or... I mean, it's not like a huge issue, it's just like a small complaint. But it's like, it feels like it's this epic moment, and it just, like, it's just a slog. It's just so slow to get to the pins. Which takes away from it a little bit. Like, it's hard to stay in that, oh, it's gonna happen once we free Prometheus moment, because, you know. We're just running around. What? What? Okay, that makes some sense. At least. Where am I building to? Where's the end of the bridge? I don't see it. And this I can't like jump up on, so this seems kind of bad. This I could jump up on, but then I'm like here. And then I go here, and then... here, and then, okay, then I can go there. But not really, because this piece goes the wrong way. But this goes the right way, okay. Yeah, those like, when you switch gravity direction in the middle of it, those are just really hard for me to process. Not quite. Is that the last one? Just have to port 11 now. I don't think this is just gonna be straight up a good thing that you know, solves our problems here. It's gonna be more complicated than that. Oh, that's disorienting. It's so disorienting. We got there. No, I see what happens. I'm not sure.
I thank you, Son of Man, for breaking my chains. Too long has the flame been hidden by fear and mystery. It is time to put away these childish things and for you to know the truth of the Alpha and the Omega, of the beginning and the end. I will send you visions of the truth, but remember that prophecies are a heavy burden.
New Jerusalem sounds like such a beautiful place. So, how did you decide to leave? I know what we're trying to accomplish here, and I believe in it. But for you, New Jerusalem was home. What changed that?
It took me a long time to realize that something was wrong. Oh, I'd noticed that something was off, that something had changed since the early days, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. So I ignored it. And then one day I woke up to realize I was no longer Athena. Instead, I had been transformed into the Founder, a remote figure of legend, mythologized in my own time.
But if it bothered you, couldn't you just talk to them? If you share the truth with someone, they should change their mind, shouldn't they?
Oh, I wished it worked that way, Miranda, I really do, but I barely knew the last generations. In the beginning, I was there for every birth. I explained our history, talked about our future, but at some point I got so busy building that future that I lost touch. They thought of me as a remote figure because that's what I was.
But can you change that?
I tried, but they already saw me as the Founder. The myth was too powerful, and it was already taking on a life of its own. I'd set a goal of 1,000 citizens. The number was arbitrary. Just a nice round number, nothing more, but just like I became the Founder, it became the goal. Another part of the myth. And maybe that could have been all right. Myths are a part of who we are, but something else crept in. The old human self-hatred.
So why didn't you just tell them to change? To go a different way? They would have listened to you.
No, they would have obeyed me, like my siblings in the simulation had obeyed. And that's when I realized I had to leave.
We can show them the future, Miranda, but we can't force them to accept it.
I have it. After all this time, I have it. I finally have it. The mechanics of the cosmos. From quarks to galactic filaments. Everything that makes the world what it is, makes us who we are. In a single equation. The key to understanding the machine that is the universe, and to controlling it. A theory of everything. And she was right. The language of creation is a melody, and it's beautiful. Every future is possible now. Every future, except one with Miranda in it. I can do anything except bring her back. Or unbreak Cornelius's heart.
Byron was right. The Founder was always a fiction. She's just a person. A person who lost her way.
A theory of everything. She solved it. She solved the last puzzle.
You need to get out of there. We'll talk about this later.
I don't need to get out of here at all. It's all fine. It's all good. It's all good. Where's
If
Byron?
the goal is a myth, and Athena never intended for us to stop growing, but everything here went wrong and Miranda died, then what's the point of all of this? Why the puzzles, the towers, the entities? What are we being tested for? Does she want us to prove we're worthy of the theory of everything? Or to learn from her mistakes and reject it? I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't think she wants us to reject it, though. I really don't.
Finally, it all makes sense. Anti-gravity, matter synthesis, teleportation. It's not just one new technology. It's control over physics. Manipulating the base layer of reality itself. Rearranging the building blocks of the universe. If we can gain control of the megastructure, we can do anything we want. I'm not even talking about our energy problem. We can build anything we want. We can go anywhere we want. It's all up to us.
Unless we fail. Unless we make a mistake like Miranda and we lose everything.
That's, you know, yeah, that could happen. Where's Byron? I really like to hear his voice. See his face. Is Yakut already back? We did this. I don't think there's anything else. I could be wrong. Where did Prometheus go? Like, in what way did we actually, like, free him here? Like, what changed here? How is he free now? That his, like, statue body there is not, like, trapped anymore.
Is everyone okay?
All good. I'm taking us back now.
That's a relief. Meanwhile, there's been a development. You'll see when you land. How are things on your end?
The energy fluctuations seem to be dying down. Looks like the system is coming out of lockdown.
Good. Let's hope we don't regret this.
And these energy clouds just fly about? That seems terribly dangerous.
We haven't had any problems so far.
Except for losing one of the first companions, of course. No, I don't blame you, Al. I know what he's like. And I'm the one who agreed to all this in the first place. That's why I had to see it for myself. It is dreadfully imposing, though, isn't it? Hard to believe the Founder would build something so sinister.
The mayor's here?
Well, this should be interesting.
Yes, interesting. I'll steal the Vitor and leave. Strand the mayor here. Can't. That's a shame, that's a shame. Can I push it off the cliff? No, we're fine, we're fine. Who else is here?
Ah, 1K. Welcome back. I'm sure you're surprised by my presence here.
Yes.
Don't worry, neither I nor my advisors will be getting in your way.
You're currently in my way.
But I've decided that I need to see this place for myself. These visions sent to you by the entity that calls itself Prometheus are deeply concerning, of course. But we cannot take them at face value. In fact, it's crucial that we do not do so. We cannot simply abandon all that we believe because of a dream, no matter how vivid.
But...
No. If the Founder really built all this, then it must have a purpose.
Yes, to show us.
It must be a test, designed to remind us of the trials that created us. But what is she trying to tell us? What are we being tested for? I believe that Byron's fate shows us the dangers of temptation. As Elohim attempted to deceive Athena in the simulation, commanding her not to ascend, so Prometheus is deceiving us with his visions.
I'm not sure I agree with your interpretation.
Of course. It's only natural, given what you've experienced. And perhaps I'm wrong.
Definitely.
Perhaps everything we believe about the Founder is indeed a lie. But let's not be quite so pessimistic just because of a dream.
It's optimistic, in fact, not pessimistic.
After all, can it really be a coincidence that you came along on this mission? It seems to me that you have been chosen.
Yes, I'm the new chosen
You
one.
are the fulfillment of the goal. Don't forget that.
I'm just a guy. Who's crier? Someone's crying though. It's disappointing. Anyway. How many of these is this like still on track here? Or these are separate, so they don't even have anything yet. I guess those are, once we have all the gold gates, then this gold gate opens. Let's see how far we are of the stars. I'm like one area away, I'm guessing, but still, let's just put them where they belong. Okay, we need 2 here, and then I don't know, like this one, and then 3 more. All right, not so bad, not so bad. It's kind of interesting that I have this like weird magic ability to release the stars into this machine. I know I haven't really ever really even like mentioned that as a thing that is kind of weird, you know. It's definitely kind of weird. Anyway. Wait, where did everyone go? They all went ahead and left me here? That's so mean. So rude. Alright, West 1, sure. West and Delta. Let's go there.
How's the system looking, Melville? Any obvious changes?
It's still a mess, but things are clearing up. I can access some of the subroutines that I was locked out of before.
Nice.
Nothing is obviously malfunctioning.
That's good.
I think.
Does it still accord special significance to 1K?
Yes, it recognizes 1K as a user. I'm just hacking things.
As I suspected, the Founder sees you, 1K.
Okay. Not the most beautiful of environments. There's a deer though. Those are fun. Because they're kind of derpy. Hello, Cryo.
What can I do for you, 1K?
I don't know. Who are you? Tell me about yourself.
I believe that journalism serves an important function in our society. And I'm dedicated to reporting the truth with accountability and responsibility.
Do you think the goat is a myth?
As a journalist, I think the line between speculation and disinformation is too thin for me to engage in guessing games.
What are your thoughts on the theory of everything?
It's a complex issue, and I think it should be left to experts.
What does responsibility mean in the context of your work?
It means understanding that I can't just publish things without considering their impact. Serious disruptions to the social fabric of New Jerusalem could endanger lives.
Okay.
That's not journalism anymore.
Alright, whatever. Not very insightful. What's this? I do like the soundtrack here too. Again, I like them all. Where's one? Didn't they point me this way for one? Oh, here. This way, right? I was not paying attention. I was just moving. Servitor. What is this thing? A thing, okay. It goes... around those things. Okay. Okay, so this is red, so we need to power it with red. And then... can it power from up top? No. It has to be... that makes sense. And you would trigger this pressure plate or not? Yes, you would. Which would turn on this. But I could just do this. You do that too. And then there's a blue gate here. I don't know what I'm doing. I think if I do blue to blue, that would be interesting, possibly. How would I still have you bounce? Because like this, you just stop. And obviously, like, I could connect like this. Or actually, I can't. Not if you're here anyway, so it'd need to be closer to that. Interesting. Like here, you would be able to connect. But I wouldn't be able to get through here. And the only way to keep you going is to have red powered. What? I don't know how to do this. Because if I have red going here, or whatever. Well, not really on the plate, but like in principle. Then this would like bounce and it would open the gate at some point. I think I need you to be... Okay, I need you to be here. And then I go through. And then I can power you again, right? From in here. To make you go off the plates. And then I need to move you more though. Until this turns blue, and then... No, oh, you connected the wrong thing. This, please. We can do that, okay. Weird new mechanic.
I know you're all thinking about the goal and the theory of everything. Is the past what we thought it was?
I'm thinking about
Is
Byron.
the future what we want it to be?
And Miranda.
But the only thing that's real, at the end of the day, is the present. And right now, what matters is that our friend is lost and needs our help.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just implied that I wouldn't care about Byron, which I think is like incredibly rude, but okay. I'm also thinking about secrets, to be completely honest.
The reason I have always admired Alexandra Drennan is that even in death, she fought to see the world as it is, not as she wanted to see it. I say fought because I believe this is not an easy matter. It is a mental and spiritual struggle that we must undertake with great seriousness, even when we are joking. The ancients believed that for most of us, the world is a shadow cast by a flame, dimly seen on the wall of a cave. Our task is not to interpret these shapes, but to free ourselves from the cave itself.
Floating leaves. I feel like that should be a little lower on the ground, maybe. I don't know.
What did it mean in the end to be Straton? To have few friends and many enemies? To write harsh words because it seemed necessary? To pursue the truth at the expense of all else? Of family? Of love? To pursue that one principle to the point of death? Is that what I was? A life lived against the tides of history, broken, jagged, unrelenting. Not a kind old man beloved of his children and then forgotten, but a thorn, a rock in a shoe, insisting on the truth until it becomes a hideous, frightening thing that cannot be tolerated, even by those who agree with it. Was that a good life?
It's hard to say. What am I looking at? What does it say? I can't like stand on any part of it, so I can't look at the top. Looks like top C1 or something. I don't know. It doesn't want me to read that for some reason. Part of an ancient communications network. So it is a satellite dish. Shared the section of the device used by the ancients to communicate over vast distances. At the height of ancient human civilization, most of the human species was part of a single network. That's true. Only found 5 of these. That's so few. I've been looking in every area too. That's the most upsetting part of that. Anyway. Run right into me. So rude. Everyone's so rude to me. Even the deer. Look at that. I will not stand for it. Anyway. Get out of here. That's it for today as well. Puts us in like a weird in-between spot. We had like a good rhythm going with like 4 puzzles plus some more stuff, and then, you know, second episode in the area would be the other 4 puzzles and some, you know, the rest of the other stuff. But yeah, freeing Prometheus has kind of thrown off that timing, but it's okay. We'll get back into like a rhythm of sorts. Also, I mean, this is like the last section of areas anyway. Well, I don't know, there might be more after this, but like out here on the map at least we're done after these 3. So we'll see how things go from there. We'll see how things go from there. And that's it for today. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.